Reconnect and heal today. Welcome to Love Never Dies with Dr. Jamie Turndorf.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Love Never Dies Radio on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network that broadcasts in 136 countries, and Dr. Turndorf, Turn on the Love on Binge Networks television, and we're also live streaming on YouTube. So I'm talking about fear today. And the fact that fear seems to be part and parcel of what it means to be in a human body. But did you know that holding on to fear, even for a few seconds, can create a wound in your spiritual body? And over time, the wounds of fear can change your spiritual frequency, lower your immune system, and deleteriously affect most every aspect of your life. So today we're going to talk with my dear friend, Susanne J. Wilson, about how you can overcome fear, protect your healthy aura, and enjoy life. So Susanne J. Wilson is my guest today. She's an MA and she lives in Carefree, Arizona. She's an Arizona-based intuition researcher, educator, author, medium, and paranormal presenter on a wide range of paranormal topics. She counsels CEOs with her really gifted clairvoyant skills. She counsels CEOs and celebrities as well as everyday folks just to connect and tune into their intuition and achieve their highest vibe. She has appeared on Coast to Coast, Gaia TV, Fox News, National Edition, and Amazon Films. And her MA, by the way, is in public affairs policy. And she has a bachelor's degree in management, certifications from Stanford University. The list goes on, but she's just my dear Susanne. Hi, honey. So glad.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation back.
I always love to be with you. Well, I was scared that we were going to have a speaking of fear, right? We had a tech problem and I was scared.
Exactly. Yeah, there was a little delay, not for your viewers, but for us on connecting today. And so there's that moment of, oh my gosh, is this going to happen? And so I had this flash of my guide next to me going, hey, you got to walk your talk. And so I immediately went into one of the tools that I use to just release the fear and let it go. And I'm like, it's cool. It's going to be fine.
Exactly. And you know, it's so funny. I was noticing, I made a joke and I said, I was scared, which is the way, kids say it. Yeah. But I actually had no feeling around it because I immediately went into, okay, maybe they're going to do a pre-record, if we can't get this straightened out, and I'll miss my dear friend. But, when your husband leaves his body from a bee sting, you kind of get a different perspective on what matters. Basically nothing, it's just nothing, right? When you really keep that higher perspective.
And staying in that sense of being grounded. And that's why, I can go right into one of the tools, and it is what is instead of what if. And, when I get scared too, my very first thing is, let's go to what really is, as opposed to the things I'm imagining and the things that I'm sensing.
Excellent.
But
what ifs, I call it, well, this is more just shrink terminology. You and I have had these little comparisons before, and it turns out that the shrink terminology parallels a lot of the terminology that you come up with, which is, when it's true, right? What if is futurizing.
It's catastrophizing, right?
Right. So the minute you go into the future, what if, you're a nervous wreck, because our brains make the most horrible what if scenarios. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? And it's all bad. It's never, well, what if something good happens? It's always something bad.
And you can think of yourself as a warrior, WARRIOR, not worrier. Warriors can be prepared for the worst, but expect the best. And it's that expectation, no matter what happens, I know that I am blessed. How do I know that I'm blessed? Because I'm still here. If I'm still here on earth, I still have work to do, experiences to have.
It's so great. Just this morning, I was talking to a patient and I thought, wow, how there's synchronicity. She was talking about how terrified she was of everything because she had internalized her mother we call it the toxic interject. When she was a little girl, her mother was a little girl who was afraid of everything. And so you become human, right, by taking in your same-sex parent generally. So she walks around with her mother's fear all the time, terrified of everything. I'm going to be homeless. The wolf's going to be at my door. Literally terrified. And, I said to her, when Jean left his body, I was so afraid. I felt like an animal out in the, in the elements. I was so afraid. And the only thing I could think to do was to remind myself of how I'm surrounded in love. And instead of counting sheep when I'd be alone in the bed, and hear a mouse overhead and I was scared, I would just count all the people who love me, because love is our greatest insulation barrier, isn't it, against fear?
It is. And it goes back to the first 7 years of childhood. A large part of how we handle fear and how it appears in the aura and how it can rip holes in our energy field goes back to, did we have our first 7 years feeling safe and secure? Did we have a sense that our physical body and surroundings were, not perfect necessarily, but were they safe? And
Yes.
that's one of the things that as a clairvoyant, I can instantly see in someone's aura if I'm tuned in, is they're not grounded, they're not rooted. And it typically comes from childhood, but that can be fixed.
Exactly. It can be fixed. And, in many ways, Jean, I used to say, you're like my mom with hairy boobs. He was like, he was like the mother I never had and the father I never had. So when he left his body, I was like, oh my God, I've been hurled into the, the atmosphere. I'm completely out here on my own. And of course, I discovered through the process of reconnecting with him, we're not alone. They're watching over us. And, for those of us who have had crummy upbringings, or what I call, damage in the deformative years, not the formative, the deformative years, right? So when you connect with loved ones in spirit, you're automatically filling the gap, because they love you unconditionally. They're with you without, what else are they going to do but be with you? It's their full-time occupation, right? To watch over us and love us and guide us. So they're able to even protect us more when they're in their spirit body than when they were in a body. And this can really heal you.
One of the things that I've been hearing from the spirit world too, and from guides and just from everyday people that are now on the other side, is they actually hurt for us that we are so afraid. And they're doing extra amounts of sending signs, symbols, synchronicities, lots of dream visits. People are writing me and telling me I'm having flickering lights in my house whenever I talk about or mention the name of love and spirit. Why is there all of a sudden this big increase in above the norm experiences? And the feedback I've been getting, and I think this is why, is because they want to reassure us that everything's going to be okay.
Yes, I think it's so true. And I was noticing, a lot of, my coaches, the transdimensional grief resolution method coaches, the people in the online love club, they're in the meetings on Zoom. We mention their name, the lights flash. And I'm thinking, wow, their skills are stronger. They're piercing the veil more easily to reassure us. We know that the poop has hit the fan on the earth plane. We're here with you. We want you to know you're not alone.
And they can see our auras. When you get to the other side of life, in 200 years of afterlife research coming through mediums, that before there's an internet, before mediums could even, talk to each other, they were seeing the same things, hearing the same thing, is that you take your aura with you to the other side. It's like the transporter device. All of your thoughts, words, and actions are contained in that energy. And so you wear it to the other side. It's like, it's a part of you. And they're looking at our auras, they're looking at our fields and going, whoa, 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 wait just a minute here. You're here for a reason. You're here for learning to love and forgive yourself, have compassion and forgive yourself, and then give that love and compassion to others. And you can't do it if your entire aura is like Swiss cheese because you're paralyzed with fear.
I just love how you break it down to such a simple message. And, you and I, when we first met and we started comparing notes, it was like the same exact messages. This is how you know when you are speaking what is true. It's almost verbatim, from one medium or one healer to the other. It's the same.
And
Yeah.
they're, in a way, therapists on the other side of life for us. And they'll utilize people like you. And I've seen you in a group, and I've seen how people can change in just a few minutes from feeling hopeless to feeling healing now. And they put their hands on our hands. They put their hands on our shoulders. They kiss us on the top of the head. And it's not just our loved ones, but guides that we don't even know who they are, but they're with us and working with us. So we're getting all of this love all of the time, 24/7. And yet we may be, curled up into a ball, watching the news, freaking out, or texting with a friend who's, I'm so scared, I don't know what's going to, and we're feeding into that energy all of the time. So the real challenge right now is to remember you wear and you carry and you live and breathe in your being what you hold on to, what you take in. So a little bit of fear is a good thing. Fear will keep you from driving 20 miles over the speed limit in heavy traffic. It's not a bad thing. But the fear of, oh my gosh, I can't get in my car because I don't know what's going to happen out there is not healthy. The fear of, I don't know what's going to happen next year is ego-based, is telling us we're trying to control what's happening rather than simply be in what is.
Exactly. And, I always say also, I think I said this in the epilogue of Love Never Dies, the things that we brace for and fear are never the things that happen anyway. Never. Have you ever noticed? It's always that curveball that you never saw coming, the bee sting, right? It's never what you prepare for. So why waste your energy bracing for disasters that never come your way? It's something else. It's always something else.
It is. And that brings me into I am. And everyone talks about I am statements, I am. But do we really understand why we use I am affirmations? It's for the aura. It's for the energy that you live and breathe and have your being in, that you carry with you, that walks into the room before you. I am. We can look at the work of Neville Goddard. We can look at the work of Wayne Dyer. We can look at a lot of people who've worked on this, but understand, people watching and listening, understand this is for you. I am light. I am one with source. I am one with all. That's your empowerment. And when you do that as a clairvoyant, I can tell you what this does to you. This blasts light through your energy field, and it can seal and heal those holes, cracks, rips, tears. It's like a smoker who smokes for years and they quit smoking thinking, oh, the damage is done. But then the diagnostics come back and they say you've got pink, healthy lungs. Again, you can do the same thing with your aura just by changing your thoughts.
Right. And like how Bruce Lipton talks about how you can change your cells, your DNA. It's so powerful. And if you think about it, I'm always thinking, from the perspective of a shrink, right? And how do you heal the trauma from the deformative years? How do you give the patient or yourself that corrective emotional experience? Well, when I listen to you do your affirmations, the I am affirmations, it's like good parenting. Because what does a good mommy say, or a good daddy say? Oh, you are so beautiful. You are so this, you are so that. So by doing these affirmations, you're reparenting yourself.
That's a beautiful perspective, Jamie. And I think it's one that we need to remind ourselves of. In fact, when you first wake up in the morning, it's a really good idea to say, thank you for this day. I'm grateful to have it. Now, what do I need to know today? And just let that parent within you coddle you just for a moment before you expose yourself to the
isn't it
outside
interesting
world.
that it brought me to tears?
Yes, because it's nurturing. We have to nurture ourselves. I wonder how many people watching now or watching this replay grab their phone and check their email or their social media before they even get out of bed. I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. That's not how I want that day to start. And my students, I encourage them, don't start that way.
You don't want that energetic frequency in your bedroom,
because it's not yours.
To you.
It's not yours. It's not your frequency. Your frequency, when you first wake up, and this is my clairvoyance perspective. When you first wake up, you're reintegrating from wherever your soul went during the night. And I've watched someone take a nap and wake up, and I've watched them come back to their body. And I can say, oh, I see you fell asleep over there. Did you have a good dream? Because you went somewhere. And like, yeah, how did you know? How'd you know I dreamed? I said, because it's not a dream. You're out, you're talking to your guides, you're traveling, you're having little refresher courses on why you're here as a soul. So why would you want to screw that up first thing when you wake up by bringing in a lower vibration? Or a vibration that's not even yours. It doesn't have to be a lower vibration.
Right. Plus the fact that the EMFs do damage to your auric field and so on. You do not, people are bombarding me through social media with, you've got to watch this video and that video. And that video, I don't want to see all of it. I know it sounds strange, but you and I think, live mostly in the spirit realm. I don't watch the news. I don't read newspapers. If we believe it's the holographic model, that everything on the earth plane is a giant holograph, it's, and that the spirit realm is what's real, I choose to put my energy in connecting with the spirit realm, which is what's real. And I know that sounds crazy. People think I'm living with my head up my rectum.
Well, and you probably have some way where you're a good world citizen, just a little bit of like what the issues are. And I highly recommend that. I mean, you want to know if, there's going to be a shortage of toilet paper again, or something like that.
Back to the
right?
rectum.
Hey, right. Yeah. Like continuing in that vein.
Yeah.
But to immerse in it. I just spent some time with a loved one in her late 70s, and I just wanted to catch up and have a cup of coffee. And she's like, she was thinking of her grandchildren, her great grandchildren. What kind of world are they going to inherit? And I think about this all the time, and and just going on and on. And she had herself so worked up. Her aura was black.
Very true. Yes, very true. And you know what I was just thinking? Our energetic systems were not made to have this level of input in terms of bad news, because I'm thinking about how we began in tribes, right? And we only really heard about what was going on in our small tribe. It was about the limit that our systems could process. Now we've got, global news. We take in energetic vibrations from all over the world. Now this constant bombardment, it's more than our systems can process without being overloaded.
Yes. I had this discussion with a colleague about 2 weeks ago, and he said, my wife and I have an agreement at 6 p.m. Anything we talk about has to be positive or neutral. Nice. It cannot be about the news at all, even if the news seems positive or neutral, but positive or neutral about our kids, positive or neutral about the house, about our relationship, about each other, and nothing about news. And it's 6 o'clock. And I said, well, don't you ever slip up? And he said, we have a signal for that. Just raise the hand. Just raise the hand, smile. Yep. And it's like, that's the reminder. Deadline's over. So I thought that was pretty smart.
Exactly. I notice you're doing a lot right, because I'm looking at your face, and you have this face of a baby, this incredible glow. You just look so beautiful, Susanne. And
I feel fantastic.
Ageless.
I really do. Thank you. But I've also spent the entire morning in prayer and in walking outside with my little dog. And I think what happens is there's a light that can come from within you if you let it. And even if you didn't have sleep the night before, that light will illuminate your face. I have a very dear friend in her 80s, and she's got this beautiful white hair and these beautiful blue eyes and no makeup. And I look at her and I see a 20-year-old.
It's true.
When I look at her, and that is from the aura. That is from being disciplined enough to have your rituals, to have your I ams, to accept what is, to to create whatever you have to create around you, including your boundaries, which we haven't talked about yet. And I know you're big on boundaries, but it shows up. But somebody else could look at me right now and say, yeah, she's older, she's tired or whatever.
She's what?
Yeah, because
it's like a baby's butt.
Seriously, it's perception through their own aura.
Oh, really?
Okay? Yeah. Somebody else.
I never thought of it that way, that you see through the eyes of your own aura. You see through the eyes of love. Yeah. You do. My person I was talking about earlier, who was so upset and worried about what kind of world her grandchildren were going to have. I think I looked about the same as I do right now. And she looked at me and said, you look worried too. No, that's okay? A project. Okay. So there's shrink speak for projection.
There you go.
Or also in that respect, a blurring of the boundaries. We call it a blurring of the ego boundaries. I assign to you what I'm feeling and I project it onto you.
But everybody's getting that. Everybody's getting that. Everybody's getting projections from other energies. The key is don't let it in and don't keep it. Now you have to notice what's happening around you. You can't ignore it, right? Yes. But you don't hold on to it in your energy field.
A lot of times people don't realize that they have been glommed onto. That's a real technical term, right? And a really good way to know is, like, for example, you walk into a room, you were fine, you were happy, and then suddenly you're feeling upset. That's a clue. I was okay till I started talking to you. Or, that's a real good clue. That's yours, not mine. And you want to be Teflon. I have to take a break. I always hate to leave you. I do.
No, I miss you.
I love you. So we'll be back in a moment. Hi, it's Dr. J.B. Turndorf here. Are you feeling stressed, tense, jumpy, jittery, anxious, or having panic attacks or angry outbursts or disturbed sleep? Are you worried that you or someone you love is going to get sick or even die? Are you depressed and feeling hopeless, like the world is coming to an end? Or are you suffering aches and pains or stiff muscles, low energy, or falling into self-damaging or addictive behaviors like binging on junk food, the internet, or TV, or abusing drugs or alcohol, or not eating right, or exercising, feeling like, what's the point? If you said yes to any of my questions, you are likely suffering what I call the global PTSD pandemic stress syndrome triggered by the coronavirus pandemic. Don't despair. My energetic system upgrade is your rescue remedy for the panic epidemic that is plaguing our world. The energetic system upgrade has already helped some of today's top leaders. Now you can experience your own energetic system upgrade healing transformation. To find out more and to schedule your session, visit drjamieturndorf.com/energetic system upgrade. That's Dr. Jamie Turndorf, TURNDORF.com/energetic system upgrade.
Love Never Dies is now on the Dreamvisions 7 radio network every Wednesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Dr. Jamie Turndorf, also known as Dr. Love, is the #1 international best-selling author of Love Never Dies, How to Reconnect and Make Peace with the Deceased. If you're grieving the loss of a loved one, tune in and find out how to reconnect and heal any unfinished business using Dr. Turndorf's groundbreaking new Dialoguing with the Departed technique. Visit AskDrLove.com to find out more.
This is Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
You're listening to Love Never Dies with Dr. Jamie Turndorf. If you yearn to get along better with your life partner or spouse, friends, family members, and even coworkers, Dr. Turndorf's book, Kiss Your Fights Goodbye, Dr. Love's 10 Simple Steps to Cooling Conflict and Rekindling Your Relationship, shows you how to turn conflict into connection for a lifetime of lasting love. Find out more about Kiss Your Fights Goodbye at AskDrLove.com. This is Love Never Dies with Dr. Jamie Turndorf. This show is for you, the listener. Once again, here's Dr. Turndorf.
Hello again, and welcome back to Love Never Dies Radio on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. And Dr. Turndorf, Turn on the Love on Binge Networks TV. We're talking with my dear Susanne J. Wilson, the Carefree Medium. So, Susanne, all through the first segment, I was thinking, perhaps there's some way that we could do an experiential together.
Absolutely.
If you want to I was being told, be the guinea pig, be the guinea pig, so is there anything that you think would be beneficial to?
Yes, absolutely. It's like, I got to pick one, but yeah, let's do it.
Would you like to? So, and I mean, we didn't plan this out, but I'm willing to be your guinea pig in whatever way you would like.
Good. Let's do it.
All right.
So everybody watching, I want you to sit up if possible, both feet flat on the floor if you can, and close your eyes.
You want me to do this?
Yep, you're doing it too.
Okay.
Yes, you bet. Now I'd like you to take a big, big breath in and blow the breath out through your mouth. Take the breath in, blow it out. We're going to do that big breath again, but this time I want you to blow it out and see if you can make it to a count of 11 seconds. 1, 2, I'm going to count with you. Breathing in, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How far did you make it, Jamie?
Well, I'm not done breathing it out.
Yeah. You know what? It's so hard to do, guys, and I want you to practice that.
I practice breathing. So, I mean, I had to stop breathing out, but when you practice your capacity for breathing in and yeah.
Exactly. Well, you're a pro.
Should I keep my eyes closed? Am I still?
Yeah.
You know how Jean pronounced guinea pig? Jamie, I'm the guinea pig. All right, so I'm still. Okay.
My guide is hanging out with your husband right now, and they're just laughing. They're
cracking up.
They're like, look at these women. Oh, they're having fun. But folks, really practice. See if you can breathe into 7. Ultimately, not right now, but breathing into 7, breathing out to 11. 11, like you're blowing on hot chocolate to cool it off. Do that separately. And that's one thing, you know, if I wake up in the night and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm on overload, I'm awake. I do 3 7-11 breaths and I go right back to sleep. But all right.
And we're not talking about going to 7-Eleven.
Nope. Don't go to 7-Eleven.
Don't go to 7-Eleven in the middle of the night.
No, 7-11 breaths, 7 in, 11 out. And it's like the great equalizer because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And it's sort of like, it's almost like putting a weighted blanket on yourself of energy that I can see because I'm clairvoyant. You will feel it. All right. So that's real easy, but let's have the experience that we can have now. So you don't have to close your eyes right now. But what I'd like you to do is rub your hands together a little bit like you're warming them up. And that's going to wake up these hand chakras or the energy centers here. We're going to do a sweep. Okay. And just hold your hands together, the namaste position a little bit out from the heart, because we got to set our intention first. Our intention is going to be that we're going to sweep energy that doesn't belong out of our auras right here and now. And you don't have to close your eyes, but I want you to focus on a thought, a very loving thought. Maybe think of your kitty or your puppy or your child. Don't think of a partner because sometimes that can be very loaded. You know, we've got a conflict or we just had a fight or whatever, but somebody that you get that, oh, I want to squeeze them, I want to hug them feeling. Hold that thought, hands together. All right. Just hold that thought. Hold that thought. Good.
Oh, a bunny just came.
I like that. That's a good one. Mine's
no, but a bunny literally just hopped up to me.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh, that's a great sign because you're sitting outside. Can we see? Can we see? Hello, bunny.
Hi, Bon.
Okay, that's that awe feeling right now, incarnate. Thank you. Okay, good. And divine source, we now connect with the universal consciousness, all the free floating love and compassion in the universe. We're grateful to be here, grateful to have this day, grateful that we are blessed and never alone. And now with our intention, we're going to start from up above our bodies, and you just start to push down a little bit at a time. And this is the intention of clearing out the aura of all energy that does not belong with me. And keep going, go all the way down, push, 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 go all the way down towards your feet. And with your intention, one big push all the way down. 1, 2, 3, let's go. All the way down. Big breath in, blow it out. And with our intention, you can visualize, imagine, or simply know that this energy is going down through the floor. It's going down through the middle of the earth to molten core, the molten core of Mother, Father, Earth, Gaia. It's going to be neutralized where it can be recycled for future positive use. Now, notice I didn't say we're sending all this energy that doesn't belong with us to the light. We don't know if it is ready to go to the light. We can just give that to Earth. Let Earth transform it. It works. It's something I do between sessions, between teaching classes. Somebody messes with me, upsets me. I'm like, I'm not holding on to that. I'm going to get really grateful. I'm going to get really in that, oh, I want to hug this person or this, whatever is really touching my heart. I'm going to get into that vibe right now. And then I'm going to sweep. Another thing is if you have a crystal, you can use that in your sweeping, something that you like. And I recommend even people who think this is woo-woo, adopt a crystal, just one. It can be a teeny tiny little clear quartz that nobody even notices. Have it near you and say, this is my sweeping tool. Or you can send anger to that crystal. I'm sending these feelings there and let it pass through this healing crystal. Okay. Again, my recommendation is don't send this energy that you consider to be not yours to the light. Put it down into the middle of the earth. Let it burn there. Let it transcend. Let it transmute. So many people tell me, I sent it to the light, but I don't know if it went there. I sent it to the light, and I don't know if it could go there. I don't know where it goes from here. You don't have to think about this. The whole reason we're on the earth is to use the earth as a tool and to be caretakers of the earth and to work in concert with it. And that's why salt is useful. Salt is super useful. You can take a Epsom salt bath, then stand up, rinse off the excess from your body, and use the magnesium creams on your body, the electromagnesium that you have. I use pretty much every single day.
I'm glad you.
It works. It works. Or you can use rose lotion or lavender lotion and go from your neck down on your body. It affects the aura. It cleanses the aura. And one concept I want to give you right now is spiritual dust bunnies. Okay. So there are people watching going, oh, what's in my aura? Oh my God, this lady can see auras. This is scary. I don't know what I have. Is it bad? Is it evil? No, it's like, think of dust bunnies. If you don't vacuum under your bed and behind cabinets and things for a long, long time, you get those little dust balls. That's what's in your aura. It's not scary, bad, evil. It's just gunk. You mentioned the word gunk earlier. So don't even be afraid of that. When you use cleansing rituals that you create or borrow mine or somebody else's, you're not using them in fear. You're using them in a state of empowerment. There you go.
That's nice. You know, as I was listening to you talk, I almost saw you as a high priestess, and it was as if you were delivering a sermon with so much love. And I know that in a past life you were a high priestess, a nun, a priest, something. You know that, right?
My grandfather used to tell me that when I was little. He said, you were a preacher too. He was a preacher.
Ah, you see, two. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, I know. He left the earth. I was about 15. And he's very busy on the other side, but he still works with me too. And one of the things he said about the fear on the earth right now is that it's necessary. And
To wake up.
Yes, it's necessary that we're experiencing it, but we shouldn't see it as, oh, it's beautiful. All this I've heard other teachers say, and I'm sorry, I don't agree with them, but this is my own truth. Oh, that the conflict in the world is beautiful. It's meant to happen. It's supposed to happen. People chose to be here to be in conflict. Don't touch it, just observe it. And I say, no matter what, we're meant to be helpful, hopeful, and healing, in the words of Edgar Casey. Helpful, hopeful, and healing, the 3 H's. So rather than stand back and just say that's meant to happen, I want to send up positive energy. I want to be a positive person. I want to be helpful, hopeful, and healing. I want to lend a hand to someone without judging them. I don't want to just observe and go, this is meant to happen.
Right.
We're being called upon to be warriors for healing right now, but we have to take care of ourselves first.
That's lovely. Right. It's like you have to put the oxygen mask on your face before you put it on someone else. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not just self-care. You do need to be, if you want to take care of your aura, you do need to be helping others. You do need to be of service, but we grossly underestimate how much service we are to our fellow humans and animals and plants on the earth. We underestimate that. I have so many people saying, I feel like, I'm not doing enough. I can never do enough. But see, the universe, the source will put in your path people and situations that you can help heal, but you may not be aware.
I like that. And I love what you're saying, because, right before you said it, I was getting the image of Jesus and what it was a migratory ministry, and he healed the people who crossed his path. And when you think of it that way, you don't have to manhandle your destiny. Just allow whoever comes into your path to be someone who you exercise your soul obligation to be loving, right? To expand your heart to love. Whoever passes you, it could be one person. It's enough.
It is enough. And in judging ourselves and saying, I'm not doing enough or being enough, or I'm not fulfilling my soul's purpose, or I don't even know what it is, we're creating a little rip in the aura. And
it's a self-injury. It's really a self-injury.
It is. And I can see it. I can see it with people. I was in the grocery store the other day. I saw this woman with this big, beautiful, expansive pink and green aura, both heart emanations, both, the very compassionate person. And she had this huge rip right over like the right part of her head. And I was trying to not see it. I'm like, why am I on right now? But sometimes I can't help it. Something just stands out. And as I walked by, I heard one word, and the word was anger. And then I saw that a real flash, really, really quick flash of a scene where she was arguing politics with, I guess, a partner or a spouse or whatever. And I guess they probably did that a lot to create such a big gash in her aura. And I'm thinking, here's this woman that's got so much going for her, but what can come into that gash in her aura is dis-ease, further injuries, accidents, more anger. It just leaves her wide open. And I almost wanted to stop and say, you can fix that, but they can't.
Yes, I know. Well, one thing we can fix is we can take a break, and then we can come right back, and then we'll see where we're going to go. It's all a mystery. I'll be back with you in a moment. it's Dr. J.B. Turndorf here. Are you feeling stressed, tense, jumpy, jittery, anxious, or having panic attacks or angry outbursts or disturbed sleep? Are you worried that you or someone you love is going to get sick or even die? Are you depressed and feeling hopeless like the world is coming to an end? Or are you suffering aches and pains or stiff muscles, low energy, or falling into self-damaging or addictive behaviors like binging on junk food, the internet, or TV, or abusing drugs or alcohol, or not eating right, or exercising, feeling like, what's the point? If you said yes to any of my questions, you are likely suffering what I call the global PTSD pandemic stress syndrome triggered by the coronavirus pandemic. Don't despair. My energetic system upgrade is your rescue remedy for the panic epidemic that is plaguing our world. The energetic system upgrade has already helped some of today's top leaders. Now you can experience your own energetic system upgrade healing transformation. To find out more and to schedule your session, visit drjamieturndorf.com/energetic system upgrade. That's Dr. Jamie Turndorf, TURNDORF.com/energetic system upgrade.
Love Never Dies is now on the Dreamvisions 7 radio network every Wednesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. and 1 a.m. Eastern Time. Dr. Jamie Turndorf, also known as Dr. Love, is the #1 international best-selling author of Love Never Dies, How to Reconnect and Make Peace with the Deceased. If you're grieving the loss of a loved one, tune in and find out how to reconnect and heal any unfinished business using Dr. Turndorf's groundbreaking new Dialoguing with the Departed technique. Visit AskDrLove.com to find out more.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
You're listening to Love Never Dies with Dr. Jamie Turndorf. If you can't stop crying over the bodily loss of a loved one, Dr. Turndorf's #1 international bestseller, Love Never Dies, How to Reconnect and Make Peace with the Deceased, will show you how to toss out the tissues and transform your grief into joy using her groundbreaking new Dialoguing with the Departed technique that enables you to reconnect and even heal unfinished business with those in spirit without the assistance of a medium, channeler, or psychic. Sign up for Dr. Love's free newsletter at AskDrLove.com and receive an exciting gift, a free excerpt of Love Never Dies. And now, back to Love Never Dies with Dr. Jamie Turndorf.
Hello again. Welcome back to Love Never Dies Radio on Dreamvision 7 Radio Network. And Dr. Turndorf, Turn on the Love on Binge Networks TV. And we're live streaming also on YouTube. And I'm here with my dear Susanne J. Wilson, the Carefree Medium. We're talking about how to help you prevent damage to your auric field and your aura, the fear that rips through you. Is there anything more you would like to share on the topic that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, look at the little children around you. Look at how they are simply for the most part, accepting, that the world is about change. They're accepting that they can still play and that joy isn't something that they have to find, but that they simply are. And just set aside an hour, just sometime this week, set aside an hour to be like a child, whatever that is. Turn on some music, stand up and dance. Skip down the road, don't care what anybody thinks. And it sounds silly, but I'm not patronizing you. I'm telling you, they're tuned in to something that we can be missing. They're fresher from the other side of life, and they realize that it's an honor to be here on the earth, no matter what you think is wrong with the world right now. Be like a child.
That's so great because, you know, again, my old supervisor, Lou Ormond, who was the founder of modern group psychoanalysis, he was trained by Hyman Spotnitz, who was trained by Sigmund Freud. And they all believe that the healthy individual has the enthusiasm of a child, you know,
And also the openness.
right?
I've seen so many people right now that have gotten to the point over the last year and a half where they're wincing, and I can feel like they're tightening up. They're waiting for the next blow, the next bit of bad news
Mhm,
or something. I see that in the aura as a contraction. And
mhm.
any time that your energy is in contraction rather than expansion, you're subject to injury, illness, anger, and things that create a cycle that run you out of control. So look for ways that expand the aura: good nutrition, water, I ams, being in what is instead of the what if, playtime, and doing even a small service for someone else without any expectation of something in return. We all know this stuff, but we have to do it, especially now more than ever.
Yes. And you know, you mentioned before the electromagnesium. I don't sell it. I'm not a distributor, but
No.
I've seen what it does because we're electromagnetic organisms,
Yep.
and it jumpstarts the electromagnetic field. And I bet it's integral also. I've had patients put it on the pituitary, right? Which
Yeah.
is gets calcified. And then that's our receiver to connect us to spirit. So
I put
that
it
I
back
believe-
here too, but I have cervical spine problems here, and it really helps. And what I've seen is when I put the magnesium back here at the top of my C-spine, it's like all of a sudden in my field of vision, it goes white. And it's not every single time I do it. And I don't know if it's happening because I really need it or I'm really in pain. I think it is because I'm really in pain, but it's like
Yes.
it blasts light through my energy. And that's how you know as a clairvoyant that a practice really works. For those of you who don't see auras, the proof is in the eating of the pudding. How do you feel? But you don't know until you try. So talking about practices is different from doing them. Do them.
Yes. And are you able to see everybody's aura?
Pretty much. There's
You can-
some where I feel like I've been protected from
So
seeing.
you don't see it if it's too dark, kind of thing?
I think that I may have karma intertwined with someone and I'm not supposed to see the aura, or maybe I'm not supposed to know, but I've seen some pretty dark stuff out there, not often.
You see mine? So as we're
I do.
talking with you, what do you see?
Pretty much a golden yellow, which is solar plexus, and then the heart of gold type of color. Your grounding, your red and black base is super strong. I mean, you're extremely, almost like super glued, well grounded. So nothing can pull you away from reality. You said something earlier about how you don't watch news and people think you're, maybe you're way out there. No, you're the exact opposite. That's kept you very, very grounded because you can't be misled. And then there are little pink and green stripes around you, most little like, it's their stripes, and those are heart chakra. So strong solar plexus is super important, and you've definitely got that too.
Do you find that other clairvoyants see auras differently? Like, so if you had 5 clairvoyants, would they all see the same thing?
Yeah, we sometimes have the colors that we see. They're not always discrete points, but they're more of like a sensory perception. And perceptual studies is kind of an interest of mine, and so that's a great question, the one that I hardly ever get asked. But we can see things differently, but we find that our interpretation will be pretty consistent.
Isn't that interesting? It's sort of like, when we're doing dialoguing with spirit, not every spirit communicates in the same way.
Right.
And also the receiver's skills may enable them to perceive, right, through more of a visual or a sensory way.
Right.
But the messages are the same. It's just how it comes through to you and how you interpret it.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I've been a university research medium at U of A, Arizona, we've learned about objective versus subjective clairvoyance. The objective is I see it around you. as though I could reach out and touch it. The subjective perception is I see it in my mind's eye. Like I look over here and I can see the colors, or there is this like a daydream. That's a difference. And I see most of the auras I see objectively. Like they're right there in the room. I could reach them, touch them, take a little piece off and hold it in my hand. It's that real. But the spirit people, I will see subjectively most of the time in my mind's eye. And when you think about that, I might go mad if I could see spirit people as though they were real people in a room. Yeah. But I enjoy seeing the auras as though they're really in the room. So I think, your own soul decides a little bit about your perceptual abilities when you have.
And can you see your own aura?
Yeah, I can. And I know when I'm screwing up. I know when it's like, I was cooking a lot during lockdown and eating a lot during lockdown. And I could see my aura was getting like, ooh, too much food, too much carbs and all that, and started the gaining of the weight. I can see every once in a while, I can see a little rip where I know I'm going to get a flare up with my neck or something like that. And it's like, so I get a little heads up, but I'm just like anybody else where I'll ignore the signs. I'll get so busy working and pushing myself that I'll ignore the things I see. So is it an advantage to me personally if I let it be? So I'm just like you guys having the human experience. Like right now, I can perceive in my aura that I'm very, very grounded, but almost too grounded, because my to-do list, my project list is so big, that the top of my aura right now isn't as open as it needs to be. I'll be perfectly frank with that. Like even though I did all this prayer and meditation this morning, it's just starting to reopen because I've been so much of the earth lately getting stuff done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very frank about the things that I see, because I don't profess to be perfect. I don't profess to be all-knowing. Nobody is, because we have our free will. We're co-creating. But what I can tell you guys is I see the things that I'm recommending that you do. I see what happens if you don't do them, and I see what happens if you do them. And trust me on this, you want to take care of your aura, your energy, first and foremost.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
It is.
It's no different. It's the same with the body and the aura. If you ignore things, the rips get bigger. The intestinal permeability gets bigger. The rip, yeah.
Yep, I know before I'm going to get sick. I know, because I start to see these little blotches and things in the energy, and I'm like, oh no, because I typically don't get a lot of sickness, but when I do, it's bad. Like a cold becomes a pneumonia or something like that. Yeah. And it's because I've put a lot of my own energy out for other people. And so I've changed that, and I've pulled back. I was on a lot of boards and committees and things like that, and not getting my own stuff done. And I resigned from every single one of them. Good. And just, you have to protect yourself. And those are the boundaries. Your boundaries show up in your auras too. I can tell you who doesn't have good boundaries with somebody who's abusing them just by looking at the aura.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey, Jamie, I'm so sorry to break in. I had an important question from someone on YouTube, and they wanted me to run it by you. Is that okay?
Go for it.
They want to know, is the correct term electromagnesium or magnesium lotion cream?
Okay, so can I ask you, if I type it in here, electromagnesium.com.au, can you all see this on the chat? Is it visible? It's visible, right? So it's an Electra with a K. Can you see it, Bob? Well, I suppose if Suzanne can see it, that means the people on YouTube can see it too. Remember to put the .au, and then you'll be going directly to Sandy's website. And she's got specials, and I think if you order the equivalent of $150 US, the shipping is free. So, I mean, I use so much of it.
Yeah. We don't get paid for this, but I learned about it from you.
I know.
And I've got a lot of people using it now too, because it
Oh,
works.
that's so great.
Yeah, I have a friend that was going to have back surgery and now doesn't have to have it.
Doesn't have to. I had a patient, an MD in her 80s, who had been bedridden for 4 years with spinal stenosis pain. And I had her daughter, also an MD, put the spritz oil, which is the strongest. It's cream, the weakest, lotion, the intermediate, and spritz oil strongest. We put it on her spine. In 4 hours, she was up. No pain.
Yep.
It's absolutely fantastic. So we have only 3 minutes left. So in the last 3 minutes, I'd like you to please give everyone a parting message and also make sure everyone knows how to find you.
Okay, my guides are talking to me right now. I'm going to repeat what they're saying. You're beautiful. They say that we see your beauty and we have our loving arms wrapped around each of you. None of you is forgotten. All are blessed. Know that in your darkest moment, your heart is touched directly by our love and our illumination. Know that we are forever one with you and that you are our inspiration. Beautiful, reckless, human. We love you.
I am so moved. Just before we came on air, I had the patient who was afraid, and I said, the spirit guides are giving you this mantra. You are not alone. You are never alone. We are so in sync with the message. You are not alone. And that is.
Yeah. It's not a coincidence that happened right before this.
Right.
And to work with me, my website is carefreemedium.com. We're getting ready to launch a new online community, a new university. I've been teaching on Zoom for 5 years, so it's not new to me, but we're getting new classes rolled out. So that's why people haven't seen too much of me lately, because I've been so busy getting ready to give you what you need.
Oh, you're so lovely, Susanne. You truly walk the walk. I've known you for many years now, and everything you preach and teach is what you live. And it is such an honor to call you friend.
Thank you. I love working with you. And as I said earlier, I've been in the classes where I've brought my students to you and gotten their thank you notes afterwards. So there's great synergy here. We're happy to be used for higher purposes. Use us some more, our universal source. Let's do it.
So wonderful. We'll just have to come back again soon, and maybe we'll figure out a way for me to come and visit with your people again soon. I always love to be with you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right, my darling. I'll see you all next time. Next time I'm going to have Sandy on. I've been having Sandy on the show once a month, so that'll be nice. Everyone, we're sending you so much love. You are not alone. See you next time.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy.